Hello, my friends, we meet again. It's been a while, where should we begin? This last year, and especially in the last few months, there's been a lot of internet intrigue towards the life, music, and online activities of the great Yngwie Malmsteen, the Swedish guitar legend. Now, I know you've seen the title of this video when you're wondering how could anyone in God's name defend the Swedish boomer's actions here, but let me explain myself first. Simply, I'm not defending his online actions in any way. Go watch the video by KDH, or as he says it, KDH, about Yngwie Malmsteen using false copyright claims to try to silence and intimidate critics. And, that's all terrible, and I feel really sorry for anyone who has to go through that. And that's not what I'm here to defend at all. So, put away your pitchforks. Nor am I here to defend the more shred-based side of his music, which I think a lot of people online have this false perception that that is pretty much all that his music is, which is simply just not the case. A lot of his music is lots of shred wank, which, if you like that, you like that, but he does have a lot of great songs that are filled with great songwriting. So, what I'm here to do today is to hopefully enlighten you and maybe give you some recommendations about some of the great underrated Yngwie deep cuts that are simply just great songs written with the song first, not just his guitar shreddage trying to show off whatever you think, right? These are songs first. So instead, what I'm here to do today is hopefully enlighten you and give you some recommendations for more of the song-based Yngwie Malmsteen's work. The more tasteful, the more melodic, the more song-focused, the not totally wanting to show off side of Yngwie Malmsteen, which does exist, I trust me. Now, unlike my other usual video style where I put clips of the artist, clips of the songs in the video, today, I'm just not going to be doing any of that because I don't want to be, simply I just don't want to be copyright ganked. So with all that, let's get on with it. Alright, so let me just give you a small little personal anecdote that I have with Yngwie Malmsteen's music. When I was just a wee lad, my parents had this 80s hair metal hard rock CD. I can't remember exactly what it was. Filled with all the usual tracks, AC/DC, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, blah, 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 whatever. But one of the later tracks in that album was actually Yngwie Malmsteen. When I first heard it, I was just blown away by the and it turned out that it was Yngwie Malmsteen's You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget, the classic Yngwie song off the album Trilogy. This track is very heavily keyboard and lyric based, not so much guitar. Most of the guitar work here is just focused solely on rhythm work, which I would say Yngwie is very, very underrated in, but we'll get to that a little bit later. The soaring vocals from Mark Bowles and the keyboard player really just carry the song on its back. The chorus is fantastic. I love the verse. Just a really, really great 80s hair metal song. And of course, the song does contain a solo from Yngwie Malmsteen, as I think all Yngwie songs do. I don't think there's one that doesn't have a solo. But it's in the bridge, right where the normal solo section for most hard rock and metal songs usually is. And, it really makes me wonder why this song wasn't a bigger radio hit. This is very catchy. Reminds me a lot of like Def Leppard kind of deal, Dawkins. It's good. It's really good. Sticking from the same album Trilogy, we have the song Dark Ages. This song contains some excellent riffs, and Mark Bowles doing his absolute best Dio impression. This song is very underrated with some great atmosphere courtesy of the keys and some excellent and catchy vocal melodies. The solo here is also very underrated and tasteful solo of his. I can't overstate just how tasteful this solo is on Dark Ages. The follow-up to the album Trilogy, which is Odyssey, sees Yngwie join forces with Joe Lynn Turner of Rainbow fame, which is great. I love his voice. Of course, everyone knows the absolute ripper of an opening track, Rising Force, but what about the classical guitar-drenched song Dreaming? A very somber and gorgeous song that the intro with the keys and the acoustic nylon classical guitar, whatever it is, just gives such a great intro, and it's just so beautiful. And then Joe Lynn Turner's vocals come in and he sings a very heartfelt song about dreaming, about a missing lover. Oh, it's fantastic. What a really great song. And it also contains one of my favorite Yngwie solos during the bridge and the climax of the song. Really great stuff here. And then going back to Yngwie's severely underrated rhythm playing, we have the song Deja Vu. That opening riff is just fantastic with all the instruments just locked in together. I love the drum beat there with the guitar playing along to it. Really, really good stuff there. The chorus of the song is excellent as well. You know, it's just very catchy. This song is probably the most shreddy of all the songs that I'm going to list here. But even so, it's not like overbearing and it's not too much, I don't find. I don't know, and it even has this sort of like weird bluesy lick before the last chorus. I don't know, it just works. This is a great song. Now, I'm not sure if you sort of caught on to the theme I'm trying to present here, but these songs are songs. They aren't just shred showcases of someone's guitar abilities. They aren't just neoclassical endless runs and arpeggios, diminished sweeps, whatever you want to do, like Yngwie, right? All these songs are structured and laid out in a very typical song way, and other than the typical Yngwie-isms of little guitar fills, you know, slides, and of course the designated bridge solo, they're not honestly all that dissimilar for most of these 80s and 90s sort of hard rock, heavy metal songs, right? That's what I'm trying to really get at here is Yngwie has a lot of really great songs. They're not just simply all guitar work. They're not all just guitar solos. They're not all just classical interludes. They're great songs filled with great lyrics, great singing. He always had great singers in the early 80s and 90s. And yeah, just excellent stuff here. But let's continue on. One of my favorite songs from Yngwie is from the album Marching Out, which is I Am a Viking. Absolute banger. Such a great, heavy, and catchy intro riff with all that harmonic minor goodness we're used to from him. Coming off the album Marching Out, which features the excellent vocalist Jeff Scott Soto, who was also on the first Yngwie record, by the way. I'm a Viking is probably one of my favorite Yngwie tracks, with what I consider to be extremely great lyrics. You know, I also very much enjoy the chorus here. The descending vocal melody that it has is very, very pleasing to my ears, along with the guitar work there. Yeah, just fantastic. Great solo in this song as well, and man, that riff is so good. Forget how good Jeff Scott Soto sounds on this track too. He's just killer. Great stuff. Another Jeff Scott Soto classic would be the song As Above, So Below, which I was very surprised to see that my local karaoke bar had on its track listing. One of my favorite choruses of Yngwie's music. I love how the vocals match the guitar at the end there. So good. This is proto-power metal at its finest, in my opinion. I also love the organ intro to the song. Great stuff. One of the few songs on the first Yngwie album that actually has vocals, and it's just, yeah, great song. I love this song. And also, as a side note, why in God's name are these two albums not on streaming services? Like, please let me serenade my steering wheel doing my best Jeff Scott Soto impression. Please, I'm begging you. So let me just highlight a few more of my favorite Yngwie songs here. Well, hi, Freya. Well, you're on camera. Let me just highlight a few more of my favorite Yngwie songs here. From the great album Fire and Ice, we have the epic and absolutely underrated How Many Miles to Babylon. This song has an excellent extended intro, complete with all of Yngwie's masterful acoustic playing, harmonized leads, and great keys as well. The intro really builds up in a great way until we get that first intro riff that comes in before we have the vocals. And the vocals sung here by Goran Edman are just absolutely fantastic. You know, I love this song. I can't understand why this isn't one of Yngwie's more popular tracks, but I think he doesn't play any of these songs from Fire and Ice live due to a falling out with Goran Edman, which is an absolute shame. The bridge contains another excellent, tasteful solo, which leads us right back into the chorus. And man, yeah, the chorus just gets stuck in my head all the time. You know, How Many Miles to Babylon? Just what a great track. If you're gonna listen to any song from this list, listen to this one. Also from the album Fire and Ice, we have the song All I Want Is Everything, featuring some of Yngwie's tastiest riffs, as well as one of his catchiest choruses. This is an excellent example of Yngwie hair metal. Great stuff, and another very sorely underrated track. Another Yngwie hair metal classic, this time in more of the ballad style of the hair metal genre, would be the song Prisoner of Your Love off the album Seventh Sign. I really love how the song develops, and the chorus melody is extremely unique. It just has such an earworm and unique melody that I never hear. Gets stuck in my head all the time. This album features Michael Viscera, I hope I'm saying that right, of Loudness, and he does a fantastic job. I also really like the song Forever One off this album as well. And you know, of course, there are a ton of other great Yngwie tracks, and a lot of the great tracks that he has are the shred tracks. You know, I'm not a hater of the Yngwie shred whatsoever. I really quite enjoy some of the ones from the earlier albums where it's just a little bit more tasteful, really good. But honestly, I just find that the songs that Yngwie writes are just much more enjoyable than the Yngwie shred, if that makes any sense too. And that's what I'm trying to get across in this video here. And I think, of course, almost every singer I've mentioned here so far, Yngwie has had a falling out with. You know, famously Jeff Scott Soto, drama, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just merely here to give another opinion on Yngwie Malmsteen's great library of music. The library of music in which I find that his actual songs go largely unappreciated in the grand, zeitgeist of the musical conscience today, if that makes any sense to you guys. And of course, there's a lot of Yngwie music that I don't really like. I don't care for much of the Eclipse record. The production is just kind of ass, as well as most of the stuff past 7 Sign. The production is usually terrible, a little bit too self-indulgent. This is where I think the self-indulgent, pure shred Yngwie sort of comes from. But honestly, in regards to the production, I just assume his hearing is damaged from, decades and decades of standing in front of 50 Marshall cabs and 20 heads, blowing out his eardrums every single night. It's probably why they're just so weirdly produced. I can't give another explanation for it. But, keep this man away from drum machines. And, of course, he's 61 years old now. Who out there is really still making great, groundbreaking, fresh music in their 50s and 60s? So maybe we gotta cut him a little slack here. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Am I just totally off base here? Let me know your favorite underappreciated Yngwie songs. Do these songs actually suck? Is my taste just terrible? Leave it down below. Love to hear what you guys said. Every Friday I'll be streaming, so check in on that. And yeah, cheers, you guys.